Welcome back. Today we're going to go over how to build your website, and this is just a basic overview of the skills you'll need to build your site, and you'll see just how easy it is. Alright, let's start off just describing or defining what a CMS is. A CMS is a content management system, which basically means it is a place or a tool that you can use and not be a programmer to build a website. If you don't know code, you don't know HTML, XML, or any of the web technologies, it won't matter. It's just basically sort of a drag and drop, and you type and put pictures on a website. You can build your site and not have technical skills. Okay. For our CMS, the iSportsman CMS, there's only 3 tools. 2 of which are extremely easy to use, and the second one here, the CKEditor, would probably be where you spend the bulk of your time, or has the steepest learning curve. And even then, it's still relatively low. Okay, so let's start. Show you what this is our demo site right here, where you can see that we have an image, our content, some text, and we have our menu. This is called a web navigation links. You can see here we go to hunting. We have different pages here, fishing and so forth. So this is an example of what a site can look like. Nothing fancy, it's just, but it's pretty short and sweet. You get to your information across. Okay. All right. So let's step into it. All right. So the 3 tools that we're going to need: File Manager, which basically is the tool that you'll be uploading your images and your PDFs and all the files that you're going to be using on your website. CKEditor, number 2, is the tool that you're going to be using to arrange that text and kind of format it and put images and stuff like that. And then the 3rd tool is the web navigation. It's just basically, once you have your page, you need to create or build your menu to point to that page. That one's very easy. All right, so let's start from the beginning. File Manager. Okay, so first with the File Manager, I'll show you what the File Manager looks like. You go to Admin, File Manager. And as you can see here, I have a folder structure. And basically, this is just how I organized my own files and my images so that I can find them easily. You know, I have my PDFs in here, all the images and stuff that I have in my acknowledgements folder. This is the images that I use in my acknowledgements. Permits, these are images and documents that I use for my permits. So first thing you want to do before you even start building your site is arrange how you want your folder structure to be, where you're going to be putting all your PDFs. If you have a lot of PDFs, I would create a PDF folder. If you have a lot of hunting pictures, create a hunting pictures folder, and then another one for fishing pictures or whatever. Just know that it's a lot easier to get to your stuff if you organize it. All right. So next, once we have our folder structure, let's put together the images that we want to put on our site. And let's go ahead and use this guy right here. Desert image here. Okay. When you put your images on a site, or when you're selecting your images, see how big this image is? It takes up the entire page. Your image doesn't need to be that big for your website. So what you'll want to do is resize it. Not only because of the size here, but because of how big it actually is. Here, let me go to the properties, and you can see the size of this is 826 kilobytes. Now, when you're on a mobile device and your user's connections aren't really fast, that's a lot of data to download to their mobile device or whatever it is that they're viewing your image on. I like to, there's Fios now, and there's high-speed connections, so it's not that big of an issue when you have something that's about 800 kilobytes, but the sweet spot is probably around the 200 kilobyte range. So let's go ahead and resize the image before we put it into our file manager. Okay, so how you do that is, and I'm using, every Windows user has this tool here. You right click it, go to open with, select paint. Now you can use any tool to resize an image, but this one has a, this one's universal, you can use this anywhere. Alright, so I just clicked resize there. Oh, let me slow down. Resize button, click. Now you can choose a percentage of the original size or pixels, so you can actually designate how, but I use percentage, and just for simplicity's sake, I'm just going to cut it in half, 50% of the original size. Click OK. Now, so that you don't overwrite your existing image, you'll want to do a save as. Alright, so this is called desert. I'll say desert web. So it's I'll know it's the web version of that file. Alright, so let's go back and let's look at how big it is now. Oh, look at that. That's nice. It's just about 100 kilobytes. So that's going to download very quickly. Alright, so that's how you resize an image. Now, let's go ahead and close this. Alright. Now, we want to put this image onto, or upload it to the file manager. Alright, so that we can use it. So let's see, where do we want to put it? That was a desert. We'll just say, since the name of the site is Venus, let's put it in test. Alright, so see this button over here? You click upload file, and we go back to our directory, and all you have to do is drag it. Done. Okay, so that's how you upload an image to your file, so we can use it when we're starting to build our home page. Alright, what's next? We picked out our image, we resized it. Okay, we've uploaded our images. Yep, that's done. Now we're going to go to actually building the page. Here's the fun part. So to get to your web page builder, you go to admin, web pages, and as you can see here, there's already a few pages of our current site. Here's a test page. Let's see what we got here. I think I just created this one. No, let's create a new one. We're going to add a new page. Let's call it, the path is basically just how our site references it. Just keep the path short. It basically be the name of your page. And let's call it Desert Survival or something like that. Alright. Alright, description, test. Alright. Is this offline? No, we want to make this online so that it can be viewed by our users. Okay, here's the CKEditor down here. All this little thing here with all the buttons. Alright, so let's start building our page. First button you'll want to do or click is this guy right here. Boink. It makes it so that you have the full screen to build your page. You don't have to have a scroll bar within a scroll bar when you're trying to do your work. Okay. And to get out of it, of course, you press that button again when you want to save. Click. Done. Alright. Alright, so we've got that fully enlarged. Now let's, first step, let's gather some text for our page. Alright, let's do that by, let's go to Google. Alright, here we are. Survival. I'm just going to grab some content here. Sure. And yeah, so I'm just stepping through just like anybody else would. Oh, there's no content here for me to copy. Maybe I should have found a site before I come over here. Here we go. I'm just looking for some text. All right, here's some 10 tips. All right, this will be good. All right, I'll copy this. All right, so let's paste that. Whoops. Into our page. All right, so now we have some text. Let's grab a little bit more here. Copy. Okay, paste. Okay. So basically this is kind of like Word, Microsoft Word. You can highlight text, you can make it look really bad by doing stuff like that. You can change the color of your text like this. All right. But we won't get into that stuff. We won't go into every specific button of what each button will do. I'm just going to teach you the basic stuff just to get your site or learn how to put a page up. Okay, so now we have some text. Let's add an image. Let's add that image that we just added a second ago. So we'll create a new place for it. See this button right here? When you hover over it, it should say image, but this is your image button. All right, so you'll see this little pop-up here. We're going to browse our server because we have uploaded that picture to the file manager, so it's now on the server. Let's do that. So if you remember, I think we put it in Venus test, and here it was. Click. So you can see that it populates it there. Let's make it so that it's to the left. All right. There we go. So there we have it. There's text in the image, and if we were happy with the way that this looked right now, which I wouldn't be, but we'll get into fixing, making that look prettier later. Let's go ahead and publish and see what it looks like. All right. So we click publish. All right. So now we have our page. The next step is to create a menu item on our website, which basically this is our menu. We need to add a place for it here. So how you do that, as you can see here, this is top navigation. That's what we call a top navigation. So we go over to website, top navigation. We're going to add, see these are our current links right here. As you can see, there's activity has 4 things under it. There's 4 things right there. Okay, we're going to add a new one. We're going to call it survival. All right. Hide from public view. No, we're going to keep this. We're going to make this public. Do I want, when they click on this menu item, should it pop up a new window, or should it just stay on your current site? We want it to stay on the current site. And here's where we're going to point this nav link to our new page, and there it is. Survival in the desert. Click save. There it is. It's that easy. Now you can see here, if I were to click refresh, it's going to mess up our look. Survival. It's kind of dropped our menu down, so it's kind of scrunched. So let's go ahead and put this under activities. So how you do that is you drag it. Let's put it right after fishing. See that? So it can go up under activities. I can pull it out of there, make it a main item, or I can make it a sub item of an existing link. So let's go see what that looks like. Ah, much better. Menu went back up. So now let's look to see what our page looks like. Survival. Okay, do you see how that banner went away? That's because this is using a different template, which we'll get into later. But this is the content that you want to, that we copied, and here's the picture. Okay? All right, so let's go back to our web page. Let's make some changes, and we can see how our changes look. Where's survival? When we make them. All right, so again, we'll click this big button here. All right, so let's say that we don't want it to go all the way across. We want this text to be on the left side of the screen, and we want our picture to be on the right. Okay. Let's actually, let's see if I can drag this picture. Actually, I'm gonna do something different. All right, so I'm gonna go over here. All right, so I'm gonna add, look at this button over here. I like this one. This is a template, so you can actually, these are columns. You can actually divide your page half and half. So you can have half on one side, like text, and then pictures on the right if you want to. So let's go ahead and try that one. Let me remove this picture for now. There we go. So I'm going to put this text over here. And I'm just going to overwrite this placeholder text that they put in there for you. And then in this column, I'm going to put that picture. Oops, I went too far. I think I got to add the picture first. Okay. Browse server. Let's go back to our picture. Test. Where are you? There you go. I'm going to go to the right. Okay. All right. Looking much better. Let's put some more text here. Okay. So I'm going to unclick this so that I can click Publish. And let's see what that looks like now. Oh, I forgot to get rid of this. Let's go ahead and do that. Get rid of this guy. Survival. Let's make this like a header. Okay. How you do that is, let me go ahead and click this big. See this right here? This is how you can format your text. Let's make this let's make it bigger. All right. Let's check out our preview screen. That's not a header. That doesn't look good. Well, let's see. Let's make it 20. All right. Save and publish. Let's go see what this looks like. Ah, much better. So basically, as you can see, there we have it. We have content on the left, images on the right. You can resize the image. Say if that's too big, you're like, it doesn't fit just right. You can change the size of that just by direct, come here you. Change it like that. And if you double click it, you can say, all right, I want it to be on the left. So it'll butt up just against the left side of that column there. So let's go ahead and save that, see what it looks like. See, I'm stepping through this just like I would if I were building the page. And I'm not a web designer or anything like that, so nothing fancy, but this doesn't look too bad. All right, so that's how you build a page and put it on your menu. Okay, so we've added images. Oh, let's say we want to add a link on our page to say another page. Maybe this. See this off the grid? Let's use this guy. For more information, let's say, for more information, go visit, click here. Click here for more information. Okay. So let's highlight this thing right here, or the click here. Click here for more information. Look up here, you'll see it looks like a little chain. That's a link, chain link. So we're going to make this highlighted text a link to that page that we just copied. And I'm going to paste that into there. Off-grid survival. There we go. Click OK. All right, so now that's a link. Maximize. Let's publish. Check this out. So now let's hit refresh here. Now we have a link. Watch this. You click it. It takes us to the page that we linked it to. So that's how you do a link. Let's go back. All right, so now we've done that. Let's say add a link. Again, there's lots of gadgets on the CMS, as you can see, and I won't go into all of them. I'll have another video that goes into more detail of each one of these things and how to use them. But just play with them for now. Fear not, you can always revert back to a change. Like if you mess something up, what you can do is, I'll show you. So let's say we made lots of changes and we made a mistake like that, and we couldn't back out, we forgot what we did. What you can do is go to your history. Well, currently we only have one version. Here, let's go back. Save this. Let's mess it up. Let's say we deleted it accidentally and deleted all this stuff. Save to new version. So like if you made a lot of changes, yeah, we want this to be a new version. Okay. So now you'll see in the history we have two versions. So let's look at our current version. Oh, that's right, I messed it up. So let's revert back to this version. All right. This might not work until I clear the cache. Okay. This will be fixed before you cache. All right. So now go back. You won't need to do that, by the way. That's all right. So you can see it reverted back to the old version. So just know that when you're playing with your pages and you're just experimenting, don't be afraid. You can always revert back to a previous version. Okay. All right. Let's see. Also, the history feature, I just showed that to you. All right. So we've created a web page. We've added images and links and so forth. I showed you the history. And just know this. All right, let's go back to our test page. Survival. Up on the right hand side, if at any time you forget or you have a question of how to use a particular page, and that goes not just for this page but for any iSportsman page, when you click the help, it explains what each thing does here. And this is a work in progress too. And it will constantly have stuff added to it. Okay. One of the things that this touched on, as you can see, this button here. Oops, let me go to the actual page. This button here, if you have any questions, you can become a CKEditor forum user. So if you have any like really in-depth questions, some advanced stuff you want to do, maybe put some fancy JavaScript, or if you're an IT guy, you'd probably want to be on that forum. So we have the help there and the different templates. Okay, so right now, as you can see, oops, here's what this template looks like. And what a template is, it's a wrapper for your page content. And what I mean by wrapper is, as you can see here, here's one template where it's got a big picture with a menu that looks different up here. And then down the survival page uses a different template with a blue menu. There's different templates to select from. And as you can see here, let's experiment with one. Let's go with, I don't know if I have any of these set up. Let's do sidebar. All right. And again, you can play with these to see which one looks best for you in your site. Okay, so that's a little bit, so you'll see there's a sidebar menu, and there's also a top bar menu. That doesn't look half bad like that. All right, so let's try another one. Let's see. Again, this is let's see, top and side menu. I think that's the one we just had. Let's take a look. But again, this is something you can just play with it, just select your different templates and see which one you like best. And there you have it. Hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, don't call. Just kidding. You can always email me or Joe, preferably 2 a.m. in the morning. Have a good one.